Complete filter service on the VW Touareg 3 litre V6 TDI. This particular one is the CRCA engine, and this will cover some of the Porsche Cayenne, Audi Q7 and a lot of the Audis A7, A6, A8. We'll start with the oil and filter. So, oil filter, front, top of the engine. To drain the oil, you need to go underneath, and we've got an under tray. So not the first under tray, but the second one. Imagine there's one, possibly one missing on this one, but they've 10mm nuts, bolts, 10mm bolts, and some at the back to remove this under tray. The rear of the under tray just sits in here, so once you've taken the bolts off at the front, you'll be able to just slide it forward and out. So the front part of the under tray does just overlap where we'll be removing the sump plug. So we just got, well, we should have T30 Torx screws holding it in position. I'm lacking quite a few of them. I've got a 10mm up there. So just behind the subframe, or part of the what appears to be a subframe, got the sump plug here, which is a 6mm hex. And I know from the last service that I did that the flow from this, when the sump plug is out, is incredibly fast, so you'll need to be ready for it. I've got a flat tray. This is cold oil, but I haven't removed the oil filter yet. So actually this has come out a lot slower than the last one. I've got a new sump plug somewhere. I'll be replacing that. The sump plug apparently is 30 newton meters. The oil filter housing is apparently 35 newton meters, but it doesn't appear to say on it. Usually you see 25. I've not seen one as high as 35. Oh no, it does say on the top, 35. There we go. It's a 32mm socket to remove, and the oil capacity suggests 7.7 litres. So the sump plug's still out. A lot of people suggest taking the filter out first because it drains the engine quicker and better. That's up to you. But the sump plug's still out and draining. Pull the old filter out. I think this one's done about 10,000 miles. replace the O-ring on the housing. So your new filter will come with a new O-ring. Make sure it's in the correct recess that it was in before. A lot of people end up with it still in the threads or in the incorrect recess. Make sure there's a smearing of oil all over it. Fit the new filter, or as it has this part here, you might want to fit the new filter first. So I'm going to fit the filter first, as it's in a nice easy position to do so. So new sump plug and washer. Make sure that the old washers definitely come off with the original sump plug. We'll be torquing this to 30 Newton meters. So clean off the sump and the new sump plug. This is so that you'll be able to tell whether it's leaking once you've fitted the new oil and ran the engine. Adds just over 7 litres of oil, with the capacity being 7.7. There's no dipstick, so you'll only be able to read the level in the car. I've added 7.3 litres. This is where the capacity, if it were to take the full capacity, is 7.7. I'd want the second bottle of 5 litres to drop down to. Replace the filler cap and run the engine for a few minutes. If you wanted to check the oil on the MMI, you'll need to wait for the car to warm up. But one thing that we can do while we're waiting is when it loads. So car service, reset oil change. So that's the service light reset. Once the car's warmed up, we'll get an oil level on this screen here, so we can check for leaks under the car while we're waiting for the engine to warm up fully. Check the oil filter housing. Check the sump plug. I don't know if that's residue from before, so I'll clean that off. Once I'm happy that the sump plug isn't leaking, refit the under trays. Probably need to wait for it to warm up fully. So I've added the remaining 400ml that it suggests the capacity of the oil is. I'll check that on the dash in a few minutes. So with the engine switched off, I've just topped up the oil and it has gone up on the dashboard. So now the air filter, got here 2 clips on the top of the air filter housing. And I think, personally, I think you can manage to get the air filter replaced without removing anything else. But if you did want a bit more room to get in, if you disconnect the MAF sensor and unclip this clip here, you can take the full box lid off and get into the airbox a lot better. Make sure there's no debris in the airbox. Make sure the air filter is fully seated all the way around. The airbox cover locates at the bottom into a groove. Now the fuel filter. Got 5 T20 torque screws on top of the filter housing. You can remove the housing completely, disconnect these pipes and change the filter off the car, but there isn't really any reason or advantage to doing this, I wouldn't say. So at the top of the housing you can move out of the way. If you want to put a container under it to stop the excess diesel leaking out, that's up to you. I'm going to wipe it up afterwards and get it to stay out of the way. Slowly extract the old filter. You can leave it sat to drain out. New filter. Stick some grease on the new seal on the top. Let the new filter settle itself so that the extra diesel doesn't leak out. And simply refit the top. And tighten the torque screws the same as you would a wheel, so opposites. And the torque required, as far as I can see, is only 5 Newton meters on these. These aren't the sort of fuel filters that usually have any issues, but you may want to cycle the ignition a few times just to allow the lift pump to pressurise and fill the filter housing back up again. You may get a few hiccups, it may cut out, but usually on VWs they're alright. I don't seem to be having any issues. Check for leaks. If you've got leaks, it's likely that you'll have issues with running anyway. Looks good. Finally, we've got the cabin filter to replace, which is in the passenger footwell, and we've got 3 T20 Torx screws to remove. Disconnect the footwell light, and then you can remove the kick panel completely. You pull down on this pipe, there's a clip above. Once you know where it is, it's a lot easier to remove, and that probably shouldn't drop out. That's just a temperature sensor that can be put back into position. And then there should be a screw in there. Take note of the direction of airflow. It's pretty obvious when you look at the filter itself. Anyway, so apparently we've got the airflow going that way, and you'll be able to see by the debris that this filter was possibly fit the wrong way around. Let's check that. Yeah, so the airflow should be, it looks like it should be that way. I seem to have a lot of dust behind it. So I've even turned the fan on and put my hand up to try and feel which direction the airflow's in. And if you put it here, it feels like the airflow is coming towards you. But if you actually put your hand up right into where the heater motor is blowing through, it does appear that the airflow is going that way. So I'm not sure why the filter's got so dirty on both sides. But either way, new filter just pushes up into position like that. And make sure we don't lose this seal. And just refit the kick panel. Thanks for watching. I hope this video has helped. If it has, then please do leave a comment. For more videos on this car and many others, please do check out my channel.